Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Max's Man Cave. We are indeed back, and it is a pleasure to be with you all. So thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening. Tons of topics, actually, tonight. I found myself having difficulty finding topics to talk about last week and the week before, so this one should be a ton of fun, and I've got the most trustworthy, friendly brotherhood gentlemen on the planet joining me tonight. Josh and Drew, how are y'all doing? It's great to see y'all back in the man cave.
Woo! Yeah, woo. I wasn't expecting Drew to be included with that, but okay, you know.
I was like, oh, he means me.
I mean,
oh.
I guess I mean he is here, so I guess we have to kind of include him.
Of course, I guess.
But yeah,
bro, that intro, fire.
Good.
Oh my gosh.
All right, cool. I just saw your private message. Yeah, I was like, you know what? The funny one is like fun and all, and it's like, yeah, it's like classic MVP Max's Man Cave channel. But I wanted something that's like, no, what do we talk about on here? Like, what actually represents what it is that we talk about on here? And it's like all the best scenes that I could possibly think of from like MCU or prior MCU, like Blade or Lord of the Rings or Space Marine. And I was like, or Dread. I put a clip of Dread in there. I was like, this makes so much more sense for us to have this as our intro. So chat, let us know what you guys think as well. Did you notice that I threw in a X-Men Origins Wolverine clip in there as well?
I did. See, I was just about to comment on it. It's 99% perfect. The 1% was the gayest Wolverine movie ever, and you included a clip of it. Thanks a lot.
Which is the bad one though? Is it where he's walking away from the explosion, or where he's coming out of the tank and he's like raging out?
No, that film is just a bad film.
Just
like
the film in general, yeah.
Nope. Like you can't.
Not redeemable.
Nope.
Right.
Sorry.
I'll have to fill it with something else. Well, thank you again, everyone, for being here tonight. Like I said, we got a fun show for you tonight. We've got Cajun Corey in the house, member for 26 months. Dude, thank you so much, Cajun. He says, of course, Space Marine 2 is the game to get into, or to get Max into video games. I may get that one, actually. Well, sweet, man. If you do get it, let me know what you think about it. We're going to be going over it tonight. We'll be showing a little bit of gameplay and then also going over some of the reviews. That'll be fun. We've got Duck Bacon. How's it going, brother? Thank you for being here. Been a while. It was a good day, says Chris. Cowboys and Chargers won. Now let's see if we can get a Rams win. Wow. Bunch of California teams. Who would have thought? And Josh does say, we're back. We are back. An infamous Netflix original is now Kill. It will not be missed. An infamous Netflix original is now Kill. JD Petty? I don't know if I know which one you're talking about. Oh, well.
Maybe it's titled Now Kill? Like, I don't know.
Oh, maybe. An infamous Netflix original is now Kill. It will not be... Is now... Yeah, I don't know.
JD, clarify. Use your English.
Oh, wow.
Take that.
I wonder if...
Not saying that word. Carry on.
Oh, I was about to say, I wonder if that is a change in the tides, if that is a pendulum swing. If so, that is a change for the better. So, well, let me get, just to kind of start things off, warm us up a little bit. I saw this right before we went live, and I figured I would share it with you, gentlemen. How do we feel about this? This isn't pop culture or anything, but I found this fascinating. So, as men, I wanted to get y'all's take on this. So this, I don't know who this was posted by, but the TikTok or Instagram, whatever this was, this woman says, my husband is making us fly home from our honeymoon after one day because he found out I sent an ex a simple goodbye text on the morning of our wedding. It was a goodbye text, for goodness sake. Not an I will always love you text, not a drop everything and meet me at the altar text. I needed to say goodbye to have closure on the unmarried part of my life. Please tell me my sensitive, nostalgic girlies understand.
That is a
and
steaming pile of bullshit.
ooh,
Yeah, no,
interesting.
I don't believe that. Listen, if you're gonna get closure, you don't wait till you're like flying on your honeymoon to get
Mm,
closure. Because if you're waiting till then to try to get closure, then that means you haven't gotten closure. There is still a connection there, and you're not fully moved on. So
mm,
kudos to the husband. And they either need to go to marriage counseling or needs to drop her ass, because to me, this is a desperate attempt to try to get some type of communication started back up with her ex.
mm. That could be it. Yeah, for sure. I was because I was really I didn't know how to feel about this one because like you said, Josh, it kind of comes into play like, well, if you haven't had closure already, then how long have you been with your boyfriend? And that is already a red flag that you're texting someone else on your wedding day. Like your wedding day, you should be focusing on the man that you're marrying. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So not thinking about the other guy. I don't
Yep.
know. Very
Yeah,
interesting. But
it automatically reminds me of that scene from the movie Casino when Robert De Niro's getting married to Sharon Stone, and Sharon Stone's calling James Woods on the payphone on the day of their wedding. He's like trying to talk her out of marrying her. It's like this is that shit right here. No, this is total bullshit. No.
mm,
And for the sake of clarity, I am team be friends with your ex if it wasn't like a terrible bad ending or
yeah.
relationship. I'm all for having a friendship with your ex. Now, I think there should be boundaries within that friendship. I don't think you should be like secretly or privately texting one another. And I
Mm,
don't think you should be hanging out one on one. But if it's group settings, sure. But it needs to be public group hangouts. Like,
yeah.
I look at it this way. Like, for instance, my ex and I are still cordial. We spent 13 years of our life together. That's never going to go away. Like
Mhm.
that still exists. So I don't want to have like I hate you, you hate me.
Mhm.
We can barely get around in this tiny little town type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
be cordial, be friends if you want, but this is too far.
Yeah, that's when you spend so much time in your life together and you know that person intimately enough to where even before you were in a relationship with them, you probably became friends with them first and then developed maybe a romantic life or romantic feelings. So you know that person so intimately that 13 years of your life, it's like, how do I say bye to that? So yeah, but I like what you said in terms of like having boundaries or having something set up as to where you are my friend. And then it kind of stops there. But some of the comments here are interesting. You shouldn't even be thinking about an ex on your wedding day. The husband is spot on. Definitely wrong. There's absolutely no reason to text your ex on wedding day. Should have sent that goodbye text way before the marriage. Yeah. She
Uh-huh.
wanted the guy from the past to beg her to change her mind at the last minute. Congrats to the husband for being a real man. Damn. Um, so yeah, and then it pretty much goes on like that. But yeah, 19K likes. So it seemed like for the most part, people were on board with the man. Like people were like, yeah, no, get her out. That's a good choice, I guess. So, but just kind of something interesting. And wanted to get y'all's take. Now
Dude,
this.
I was going to text you about this. Okay, cool. Carry on.
Oh, did
I
you
saw
see this
this.
as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this was not in my lineup, but um I don't even know how to intro this. So I saw this maybe 5 minutes before we went live and I thought it'd be good for us to play it because I would love to get people's reactions.
Yeah.
Um Drew, did you see The Boys season 3?
No. I stopped after I think part of episode season 2. Just it turned into a show I did not want. It turned into The Boys that I
Hmm.
did not want. But I am aware of these characters and I'm aware of certain plot points.
Okay.
Are you aware of a Biddy?
Drew,
No.
Drew's
I'm scared
Yeah,
now.
that was the most hesitant like yeah.
So I
Um
will
Now
preface. I
you
think this
saw
is. Yeah, I
you
think.
saw
Well, I haven't
season
watched the
3?
show, but I saw the
Oh.
clips as the scene came out, and I think this is season 4, right?
Um,
I thought this was from season
oh,
maybe.
is it?
I think so.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
because I think next season's supposed to be the last season and it's 5. But there's this actress plays the character Firecracker, and she ends up there's some plot line involving Homelander and breast milk, and she finds a way to Firecracker finds a way to fake her body into thinking like she was pregnant so she can produce breast milk. So she produces breast milk, and then Homelander like sucks her teat. So
And I think from what I remember from the first season, Homelander has this kind like he's ultimate Superman where he like doesn't have a weakness, but his only weakness is breast milk, where he's like he becomes this little baby essentially, right? Like he becomes
Well,
weakened by it.
well, part of the problem with that, Max, is that if you go by the original comics, it was Mother's Milk, the big black guy. That was his hang up. It was
Right.
his mom's teeth sucking on the milk. It's like, why the fuck are you doing this to Homelander? I don't understand that. But yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah. Because it's Amazon and they don't know their left foot from their right foot. So this is the actress who played Firecracker. Yeah, Firecracker. And this is a Twitter account that is called The Boys Out of Context Clips. Valerie Curry kindly asks fans to not cross boundaries when meeting her and to stop demanding her to do certain acts related to her popular character Firecracker in The Boys.
Wait, what?
So I'm thinking, wait, did someone ask her to like give them a blowjob or something? Or like, did someone ask her to like perform a sexual act? Right?
People are asking to suck her tits for breast milk.
And so that is what I had to find out the hard way after reading the comments, because no one was giving any like, context, but until finally someone had to say like, oh yeah, they want her to squeeze breast milk into their mouth. But she doesn't explicitly say that. So I think a lot of people are confused. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip. And if you guys need me to pause it or want me to stop, just let me know. But this is the actress for The Boys season, whatever now, Firecracker. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hey guys. So just got back from the first day of Comic-Con in Northern Ireland in Belfast, and by and large, everyone was fantastic. I've only just started doing these conventions on my own, and everyone, for the most part, has been so lovely and so kind and so respectful. It's really been wonderful. But we do need to talk about boundaries and what is appropriate in terms of behavior. I know people saw a character that I played do some pretty extreme things on The Boys, and I don't care if you're in costume. I don't care if you are in character. It's not okay, and it's not funny to demand those things from me in person at my booth. It's not okay. And frankly, to the person who did that repeatedly today, I made it pretty clear that it wasn't okay, and that only seemed to make this person and their friend angry. I didn't think this needed to be explained, but I was deeply uncomfortable. It was quite clear I was uncomfortable. I really want to be able to do these. I really enjoy getting to meet the fans and talk about the characters that I played. Honestly, I really love it. I want to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to do this if people are acting this way, because it makes me so uncomfortable. And honestly, you should know better. Everybody else knows better. And again, I don't know what reaction you were looking for. Nobody was laughing. So that said, thank you to everyone who I met today, who I've met at past conventions, and I really am looking forward to meeting at future conventions. Everyone who is so respectful and kind and would never dream of acting this way. But if you're thinking about it, if you think it's going to be funny or you think it's going to be a bit or a moment, it's not, and it's honestly just going to make me feel bad. So please think about that before coming up to talk to me. Please just think about what's appropriate and what's professional and kind.
All right. So, gentlemen, thoughts?
Yeah. I'll just say, like, I think it's a fair thing for her to say. I think it's something that as fans, you should know better. if you wanted to make a joke about it, make a joke about the show itself. Don't walk up and be like, "Let me suck your tits," like that's just pretty cringe. And yeah, I get that it was like one person and his friend that was saying it. But if it gets repeated and other people see it and then they think it's funny, then they're going to try to do it as well. And then they're going to try to one up it. And then does that turn into someone trying to grope her or, like,
Eesh, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so I kudos to her for putting that out there and be like, look, let's be normal human beings here. Like, yes, it's crazy. Yes, it happened in the show, but I am not the character. You are not the character. Like, even if you dress up. So I thought it was a fair assessment, but yeah.
Drew, what do you think? What do you think about this video?
Yeah, that's a fair ask, I would say. But I will say, in my experience, because I've been to Comic-Cons in England, they're very different cultures at Comic-Cons, United States and over there. And so I'm pretty certain that the Comic-Con crowd that do stuff like that, they're not accustomed to stuff like that, or people may be sensitive to that. It's got to be just a cultural shock thing. But I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying it's a complete different culture over there.
Yeah, no, it's so I'm going to sound like the a-hole here. Of course, it is wrong for someone to do that to her. Did she need to make a video about it? I don't know. Because if every creator that ever had a bad interaction with a fan, be it inappropriate or be it autistic or be it just like completely out there, like, because I don't know how many people actually went up and were like, can I suck your tits? Like, was it a bro or was it some guy who was autistic or was it someone
Were they
who didn't
drunk?
have social cues? Were they drunk? Like, I just don't know. And I'm not saying that any of these scenarios are right, but I am saying that she had 99% of other fans that loved her and that she has said, like, hey, I had a great time with y'all. But I don't know if this needs to be another performance. And like I said, I know I'm going to be the a-hole here, but it just feels very performative where she's going, it's not right. And I'm just like, just talk like a normal person. Maybe don't.
Not just
be an
that,
actor.
but you're right, Max. And I was like, I hearkened back to the Tom King Rorschach incident, whatever, at a Comic-Con like 2 years ago, when he lost his shit over someone dressed up as Rorschach at his table. It's like, but it turned out what happened was taken completely out of context. So I'm not saying that this guy didn't demand her. This guy didn't demand to suck her tits, but like,
yeah,
what? But was there has to be, maybe there's a possibility that this was taken out of context. Some of it. Who knows?
I would say I would give that grace to the person if he just did it once. But if he, as she said, if he came by multiple times and did it, and then came by with his friend multiple times and they did it, then it's like at that point it's actually becoming harassment. And it's like, okay, like it's not cool. Like we've expressed that it's not making us comfortable. There's a ton of crazy shit going on in Ireland right now. I don't know if y'all watch the news. So we're sitting here saying, is it this? Is it this?
What?
Is it this? But but it's hello? What's happening?
Huh?
Drew said what?
Oh, I have no clue what's going on in Ireland right now.
Oh, people are getting attacked right and left.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were white, you were getting attacked right and left in Ireland right now.
It's not a safe place.
Yeah, like Irish nationals are seeking. Like, this is crazy. Irish nationals are seeking asylum in the United States at the highest rate ever because of all the activity.
Asylum seekers
coming into Ireland. Yeah.
Yes. Because they're seeking asylum in Ireland, and then Irish people are like, I'm getting the F out of this place because these cultural enlighteners.
Yep.
I instantly just thought of it. I just thought of a Three Stooges episode where someone says, your minorities are sneaking into our majorities, which are making our majorities minorities.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it's pretty accurate
Um,
for Ireland. So,
but
and
yeah,
in the US.
I don't know. Like I'm fully on board. Like if one guy said it once, fine. But I'm perfectly fine if she comes on and says like, "Yo, this isn't cool. Like, please don't do this."
Yeah.
You know, because I can understand even if you're in costume coming up and being like, "Oh, let me suck on that. You know, let me get that mother's milk." Yeah, whatever. I get it, but I'm fine with her saying like, "Hey, let's please not do this." You know, just let's not.
Right. Like if she's like, "Hey, whoa, don't say that. That was really inappropriate." And the guy goes, "Oh, okay, no, you're right. I was trying to make a joke. I'm sorry.
Right,
Wasn't cool." And she's like, "Okay, thank you. I
right,
appreciate it."
yeah,
Like that's probably how a normal conversation might happen, right?
100%.
But I don't know if that uh it probably didn't come out that way. You
Right.
know,
Well, we
because
know
yeah,
if we're to believe her, we know it didn't because he kept
correct. Yeah.
doing it after they expressed or she expressed or her handlers or
Right.
whoever that it made her uncomfortable. Clearly, some of the fans had said something at some point as well because she was like, "No one found this funny," which makes me
Right.
think fans have been like, "Yo, chill out, cut it out," or whatever. But then to then get angry at her because she's like, "Hey, please don't."
Yeah.
I feel like, a video is justified, sure. Now, if she does like a follow-up video and she's like, "Oh, I hate conventions because all we get are, you know, horny dudes that just want to come in and make comments about, getting my milk or whatever," then I'd be like, "Okay, calm down, sit down. Like it's not all guys. It's not
Yeah.
everyone. You're blowing this out of proportion."
Yeah.
But yeah. Uh,
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's a comic book convention. There are going to be people who don't have boundaries and people who feel that they are going to people who are going to be really inappropriate and they're not going to know how to socially interact. That and I'm not saying that as an insult to those people. I'm just saying this is a matter of fact that a lot of these conventions have. And as an actor or actress, I think you have to be prepared for those interactions and you kind of have to get yourself in a headspace to where you may have those interactions. And I don't maybe she just doesn't know that yet. Because I think this is one of her like biggest roles maybe to date. And so now she's kind of entering that geek sphere and is like, "Oh, these aren't like fans that are just like clapping for anything. These are fans that may have social proclivities that may hinder their interactions with me." Right. So
Yeah,
um yeah, so I don't know. It definitely there's a part of me that's like I totally feel for this, and it's really weird that these guys did that, and I hate that stuff like this happens all the time at these cons. But then there's the other part of me that's like, or is this a cosplay is not consent argument, right? And I think it's just me being jaded from all the times of women being like, "This man touched me," and it's like, did he though? So like I said, I'm definitely the a hole here, but it's a fascinating video because one, the fact that it happened is like yikes.
I mean,
Two,
I'm not surprised it happened, but yeah.
well, actually, I mean, yeah, we are in the age of we are in the current age and culture that we're in right now. So yeah, um, but yeah, one of the this is one of the quote tweets that I found a little concerning. This person says, "Incels, superhero fan incels, stay away from my sister." And the clip that they played says this.
Them. We need to kill them. We need to kill them. We need to kill them.
So
wait, what?
yeah.
Yeah, that's too
So
far too.
yeah, so it's like
Wow.
there's no nuance on on the internet anymore. No one can have discussions anymore, and even I can't even have discussions anymore because I just like everything gets so I don't know nth degree that it's like, oh my god, I need to remember like to refocus myself and go look at clouds or touch grass and realize like where I am. So
Right.
yeah, this is true. Last time we were in Dallas, I think. Yeah. It's been a while though. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while.
I will
Been a
say though,
while.
if you're doing a show like The Boys, and this is gonna be my like devil's advocate speech, if you're doing a show like The Boys and you're gonna have a scene where you're doing something like that, you should fully expect people are gonna come up and say something.
Hmm.
And if that
Hmm.
happens, when you can go, by all means you can go like, yeah, please don't, or whatever you want to say, and that's perfectly fine. If they
Mhm.
continue on, which is what it seems like this guy did, that's when I'm like, all right, fuck off. Like, I'm not gonna be nice at that point. I'm like, fuck off.
Right. Yeah. Like if someone continues to just like, if they're there to troll you and they're not actually fans of you or something, then you can clearly tell their intentions and just be like, okay, you're not here to see me. Which also begs the question, where were her handlers? Like when I went to go see Charlie Cox, granted, Charlie Cox is like here, and she's probably not there. So like with Charlie Cox, there was a guy standing right behind me going, all right, did you get it signed? Okay, bye. Bye. Okay. Did you
Well,
sign?
and-
Okay. Bye. Like he was pushing me out of the way to get to so that the next
Well,
person
and
would
this
go, and
goes
the next
to
person would go.
yeah, and this goes back to the like. I mean, yeah, I'm not kidding you. The setups, the security, it is all
Yeah.
completely different in England. It's like there's practically.
Mhm.
I don't want to say there's no security, but security's pretty lax at
Yeah.
those shows in England and in Europe. So yeah, someone be able to come back and forth. Yeah, they don't give a shit. They don't care. It's just it's a culture shock. But
Yeah.
yeah, if it happened here in the States, yeah, it would not. If only once, and those guys would have been gone. I guarantee it.
Yeah, because in truth, right? I think it was Suicide Squad. They were doing a convention in Europe, and they pretty much had all the cast just sitting at a really long table, but it was like floor level for people to just like you had your line, and then you had the attendant there at the line, and then they were letting you through to go like actor by actor, but there wasn't really anyone there.
Yeah.
But you could also be.
Whoa.
But also, like the crowd that wasn't in line were like still 6 feet away from you, so they could come up and say whatever, do whatever.
Huh.
But
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about our next topic here, which leads us perfectly into this. Dave in his death beanie says, I want to play Space Marine 2 so bad. Well, you're in luck, sir, because we're about to talk about that right meow. So Space Marine 2 has hit the fandom, the fellowship, the community, and people are loving it. Like when Space Marine 2 came out at first, I thought people were going to be like, it's what we expected, it's what we wanted, it's a good game, we're happy with it. But it's like we love this. That like people are just absolutely going nuts for this. I normally don't listen to IGN, but this was really the only article that I could find that was fairly articulate about it. So I figured I'd read a little bit of this. This gentleman, Chris Reed, says, I was halfway through the opening level of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2's campaign, unloading bolt rifle rounds alongside my 2 squad mates, when I found myself smiling at just how good it feels to be back in this futuristic grimdark fray. It's been over a decade since the original, but Space Marine 2 reinvigorates the squad-based shooter series with seeming ease. The environments are varied and breathtaking, the running and gunning feels great, and the sense of camaraderie while fighting with your team, be they bots or friends, can be exhilarating. It may not break much new ground in its genre, but it didn't need to for me to have a blast playing through its dozen-hour campaign. So this sounds like it's been a ton of fun for people. And what's fascinating is that like these are normies. Like for people who are playing Space Marine right now, I feel like they are fairly just normies. Like they don't really know what Games Workshop is. They don't know what Space Marines are. They don't know about the tabletop game or anything. They just play this and they go like, oh yeah, it looks like Gears of War, but this is real. Like the video games I feel like are going to be huge for people to kind of understand what Space Marine is or what Space Marines are. So I thought that was kind of cool. And our good friend Exude Good, she has played this. She's been playing this for a while now, the past like 3 days. And she has been like obsessed. Like she is now like screaming at the top of her lungs, like, for the Emperor, kill the Xenos and the witch, destroy the witch. like just screaming, and it is so fun to watch her because she's a 9 foot tall, Space Marine killing bugs. So it's pretty damn cool. And I gotta say, people are loving it, which I think is fun for like Games Workshop fans, because they're like, this is a cool way for other fans to engage with the hobby that's not necessarily the tabletop, but is still a really fun adventure. So have you guys gotten to see any of the gameplay, or have you guys seen anything about this or heard anything about this?
I mean, I've seen a lot of hype leading up to it. I've been a little out of the loop the past few days, but I mean, we saw gameplay in Dallas, and I told you then, like,
That's
dude,
right.
this looks really freaking good. And I kept trying to get you to go play it, and you're like, no. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if you were joking when you said this, but you're like, oh, I might buy a gaming console to play this, and I was like, if you do, I will too. So I don't know if that's still an active plan, but
I think it's like the
dude,
more I watch it,
it looks so sick.
The more I'm like, oh my god, could you imagine? Because I think you can do 3-player like co-op campaigns. So like, could you imagine the 3 of us on a campaign, or like getting Kyle in here? Just because Kyle's on board, he wants to play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drew, I don't know. I think is your brother pretty good at video games? I don't know.
I don't know anymore, really. I mean, he's got to be better than me, because I mean, literally, the only game if I were to play if I'm completely bored, I got nothing to write or whatever, it's going to be Tetris. So that tells you the level of gaming I play. So
you're going to be playing Snake.
Yeah, they're going to play. Yeah. Playing Sims. Yeah, playing Sim City.
There you go.
Oregon Trail. But yeah, it looks fun. It looks crazy. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do playing the game. Like, all right, where am I going? What? Like, I am the worst. I am the worst person you want to sell an RPG to, because because I'm playing it and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Am I going the right way? I don't fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going? Wait, but I just walk? I just go? What the
that
hell
could be
am I
really
doing?
entertaining for a stream, though. I'm not gonna lie.
And see, that was my fear of playing it at Dallas, because like in Dallas, the people who were playing that game looked like they were gamers, and they were like locked in, like just locked in. So, and there was a line every time we went by there was a line. So I didn't want to be like, what does this do? And just like completely boof the whole thing while all these gamers are looking at me like freaking idiot. But I do recognize that could be a fun stream. I do hear though that it's difficult. Like even on easy mode, you will die pretty easily. So I will have to kind of get good at it, but I think it'd be a ton of fun. Kara has been talking to me about it because she thinks that I should save my money, and instead of doing a PS5, getting like a used Xbox something that's like still a really good version, still can play Blu-ray and can also stream, or can also, play games, and I could stream. So that might be an option. But yeah, man, $500 plus the video game, like the console plus the game, that's a lot. That's a lot.
So this is the I'm also not a gamer. Can you not stream with PS5?
So you can stream with PS5. You can't stream with the Series X Xbox. You have to get a capture card to have it plug into your So I think that's the difference.
Cool.
But yeah. So hey, you know what? Chat, if you want, we could do like I could put a little thing down here that says like goal to a PS5. And then it'll be like every super chat will be my $500 goal to the PS5.
And how much is the game itself?
Ooh,
probably like 60.
It's probably 60. The collector's box.
Not bad.
That's not bad. Well, comparatively to the actual console.
I could be wrong. I don't play games. Don't quote me on that.
I don't know. Chat, you guys got 70? Okay. No, that's fair. Especially if you get like the collector's box edition, which is probably what I'd get, because it comes with a commemorative or like exclusive figure or statue. So
you know what's interesting? I've noticed is that new video game prices have not really changed in the last 30 some odd years. They've always stayed between like $50 to $70. Yep.
Really?
Going as far back as Nintendo, Sega, they've always been between like $50 to $70 $70. Yeah.
Yeah, but what they're doing now is that they're doing like the extensions. So like you'll have your game, and then to kind of keep content fresh in between like one release and the next, you'll have like extension packs that either introduce new characters or have different gameplay or whatever that you can then download or purchase or whatever it might be. So I think that might be part of it too.
Well,
Skirting the
yeah. Well, enough talk. Let's see some gameplay. I don't know if you guys have watched this trailer yet. But yeah, I figured we could watch a little bit of this because it looks pretty damn fun. So this would be a 3-person campaign co-op.
Detonation only when the main swarm has entered the blast zone. Emperor, preserve us all.
I am honored to have Lord Titus command our unit. He has clearly served long and with distinction.
And the cool thing too is that we're able to customize each one of these characters. So like if you wanted to be a certain chapter, you could customize your character to look a certain way or have certain armor or whatnot. So that's pretty cool.
So I could make T. Franklin in a wheelchair firing a glitter bombs.
Well, unfortunately, Drew, this game isn't that inclusive. Sorry about that.
Oh,
But
so
no.
you could
Could
probably
you-
make Franklin, but
could you play as who do you like, the Knights of Black Templar? Could you play as that or no?
yeah, actually the first guy up here, he is a Black Templar, I believe. So
Oh, okay, there we go.
yeah. So we'll see a couple of shots of Space Wolves, Black Templars, and Ultramarines from what I remember, and maybe some Death Watch.
There is sure to be an ambush.
I have been dying to carve up some Xenos.
Yeah, so this guy right here with the Thunderhammer is a Black Templar.
Thunderhammer just sounds cool.
Maybe a Dark Angel.
Bro,
Space Wolf.
I can hear that Carnifex's slavering maw working.
Yeah,
Today, we slay a hive giant. Stand behind. Butcher this one. Hit that Carnifex with everything we have. Fire in the hole.
So this is where it looks like super fun because it's just like massive
Mayhem.
swarms. Yeah, it's like mayhem and just massive swarms of Tyranids.
Swarm is climbing. Butcher that bastard.
You know what it reminds me of? It's that Gears of War. Reminds me of Gears of War a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And I think the gameplay is probably going to be a lot similar to that. But I think Gears of War probably took the Warhammer model and then made it into a game first, because Warhammer was a tabletop game before Gears of War was introduced. So I think they both are very similar, like have similar maybe armaments. I'm not sure, but no, the gameplay just looks so damn fun, and like the shooting especially just feels like you're really just like cranking out bullets. This is more like PvP. Chaos, at least. Regular.
I am executing the Emperor's will, arm to arm with his finest.
Holds the advantage.
Engage on our terms only.
Dude, chainsword, like come on, that looks sick. So but yeah, what do you guys think about the gameplay? Look kind of cool.
Huh? Yeah, it looks cool.
I like it.
Yeah, I think I'd be all here for it. If I could find my way out of like the intro tutorial, I think I'd be okay. So
For sure.
Yeah, so 40K started back in like the mid to late 70s, but really didn't hit the the US until the 80s and 90s. That's when it really started getting big over here. That because that's when I found it was the 90s. So, but yeah, no, I mean it's been around for at least almost I'd say maybe 40 years at this point. So Gears is a cover-based shooter. I don't believe Space Marine 2 is. Both have that heavy war theme incorporated in the gameplay. Nice, nice. Yeah, the cool. What I really like is it feels like the weight of this, like the Space Marine armor, like how you move, feels like it's incorporated in the gameplay, which would be really fun. But like I said, I'm a noob. I have no idea what any of this stuff means, but it looks badass.
Yeah, it looks pretty submersive. Like it looks like it would be fun. I haven't
Dude,
gamed in
totally.
years. Like I stopped at like the PS2 era, you know, and that's when I moved and I was like, I don't have time to play games.
I played the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, like PS2 game, and then I played World of Warcraft on my PC, and then since then, nothing. So it'll take a little bit of time for me to get back into the swing of things. But with anything good and with anything badass and awesome, you will have these people come out because, you know, it's just like clockwork at this point. Like, how could we not expect this to happen? So this is on, I believe it's like an app called or no, this is the person posting is Pixel Perfect. This is from a Twitter account under Zine. Name Zine? I don't know. But just says, laughing my ass off. The user says, not bait. You shouldn't play the game until they add female Space Marines. Here's why. Oh, okay. Well, interesting. Not bait. Let's see if we can hear him out. Before you lose it and call me quote unquote woke, listen up. There are people who have been stomped on for centuries, and we're finally at a point where we can start to make things right. How can you sit there and play a game made by devs who are openly sexist while also refusing to add even a shred of diversity? What's the big deal with having a single Marine who's intersex, LGBTQ, or female? They did it for Custodes in the game. Just one character. They could be on screen for 5 seconds and it wouldn't hurt you at all. But it would mean the world to someone who finally sees themselves represented and who's really the snowflake. If that idea gets under your skin, they don't even need to be the main character. It blows my mind that anyone would make a game that's so deliberately pandering to right-wing values. Do you even know what you're supporting? Or did some World of Warcraft YouTuber just tell you to buy it? By playing this game, you're choosing to marginalize people who deserve better. That's the point. I get that some will read this and say they don't care, but maybe, just maybe, try putting yourself in someone else's shoes for once. All it takes is a little empathy. You don't have to agree with them, but recognize that representation helps people feel less alone. It's sad that you're actively standing against that. Edit. Just because you are a jester, just because you use a jester award doesn't mean you're right. Don't bother trying to rile me up because it's not a good look. Wow.
I'm going to be honest. I stopped listening after the first sentence.
Well, you didn't like my dramatic reading? Damn.
No, I did. I just didn't pay attention to what you were saying. But I said, you know, we got to get you the Tubi award for this performance because it was, you know, I really
tried to. Well, I tried. They told me to put myself in their shoes, so I tried to put myself in their shoes.
This comes across as a person who probably was a brat growing up, who was screaming their mouth off to their parents and got whatever the fuck they wanted. This is just an extension of that.
Wait, is this male or female? Do we know?
I have no clue. I do not know. But
so is you're going to assume their gender, Josh? How dare you?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, it's either a soy boy, you know, that cries a lot, or you know,
that's a really good question.
A she that identifies as they them, yeah, with the hair. Sure. You got to have the hair.
Yep, yeah, that'll do it. But yeah, whatever this app is, 75 people gave this clown a clown emoji, and then 4 gave it a laughing emoji. So that'll do it. Um, but no, I mean, this is in all seriousness, this is absolutely ridiculous because there is diversity within the game. And regardless of whether diversity was in the game or not, what does that have anything to do with the game being good? Does diversity just automatically equal good? Because there are, I guarantee you, women, men, they, thems, black people, white people, Asian people, Mexican people, Hispanic people, they're all playing this game and loving it. They can be whoever they want. They can be a 9-foot tall space marine. They do not care. But, you know, funny enough, out of the 3 of the main characters, you've got Lieutenant Titus, a white dude. You have, and then you have his 2 battle brothers, who is a black guy and an Asian guy. I mean, like, what are we doing here? What are we talking about here, right? So, the whole, like, let's have a single Marine who's intersex, LGBTQ, or female, they don't get the hobby. They don't understand the hobby. They don't understand the game. They don't even understand the characters. This has nothing to do with the game at all. This has everything to do with their weird sexual fetishes and preferences and political ideologies. And we see this for everything. It is just so funny to me that, like, the most masculine, like, brutal, violent, you know, battle ready game possible, Space Marine 2, that there are still going to be people who are just totally beside themselves with just anger and frustration and grief that there's not a female in the lead. But, you know, hey, Star Wars Outlaws, or whatever that thing is, that's doing great, right? Or what was the other video game that just got released that then got canceled, and Microsoft refunded everyone's money? Stuff like that, where I'm just like, yeah, that's what happens when you don't focus on making the game good, right? So, it never ends with 1. It's a damn Pikachu horse Zim. Just like AI automatically makes something bad because the use of AI hinders them from pushing their stupid agenda. Mechanicus 2 coming soon. Ooh, you can play as a Necron. That sounds cool. Anime is starting to turn to AI. That's interesting. This would be sick. Give us a Brutal Sisters a battle game. I want it. Hell yeah. That would actually be pretty rad. Concord. Thank you, JD Petty. Concord was the video game that I was thinking of. But yeah. Any other thoughts on this this person who seems to just be absolutely just what's the word I'm looking for?
Kick him in the front butt.
I thought you were gonna say gay.
I was just gonna say it's a parentally unhappy person, much like an Arab terrorist. So yeah, there you go.
This is someone who doesn't like when people have fun with something that they don't like, you know. And
Yeah,
then
this is someone who find flaws, who find a way to be angry, pissed off about something. It doesn't matter how good it is, whatever. It'd be like it's like the grandpa in Christmas Vacation when he gets the lights all up and ready. He's like, "Hey, check this out. What do you think?" It's like, "Well, the little lights are not twinkling." Yeah, thanks for noticing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It just they're gonna notice. They're gonna always find something to be unhappy about. That's what their more important point of view is.
And it's really interesting too how everything is through the frame of right-wing values. The person says, "It blows my mind that anyone would back a game that's deliberately pandering to right-wing values." What? What? Like what? Like, I guarantee you the devs and the producers and the like, everyone that's on this game, I guarantee you has everything but right-wing values. Not even alt-right values. They're probably far left, the people that made this game. Like, this nonsense rhetoric of everything is right wing is just abysmal and actually very like funny when you just can't see anything other than that. But yeah, you're choosing to marginalize people who deserve better. That's the point. I get that someone will read this, blah, blah, blah. It takes a little empathy and the representation, all that stuff. Hey, you guys have games that are for you, right? Because that's what they always say. Oh, this isn't for you. It's not for you, but it's, well, it seems like to me that Space Marine 2 is for everybody. Like everyone seems to love this game, except for unhappy they thems. But yeah, like things like Concord or the band that's fighting fascists. Shoot, the one that Savvy played and the one that X-Ray Girl played. Chat, you guys probably know as well what that one was. But yeah, so let's see. Shaggy says it's tourists coming to the game not understanding the lore that has been set in stone for years. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on because we've got tons of other topics to talk about. But before we do that, all right, I'll give you guys the choice. We're on kind of the Space Marine hype. We're kind of talking about Games Workshop and Warhammer. Do we want to talk about this fine specimen of a woman? It's ma'am. Or do you guys want to talk about
Deserve
the
God.
cancellation of YouTubers Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Kinnell?
Whoa, man. It's Warhammer 40K related.
It is. Yeah.
Let's stay on subject and then we can go to FNT.
Let's do it. All right. So, The Tithes is a new show coming out from Warhammer Plus, and I will say I'm thankful that I ended my subscription with Warhammer Plus about I'd say 6 months ago now. They just released this animation, which, to be fair and quite honestly, looks great. I love the animation. I think it looks awesome, and the action scenes in this look fantastic. So, animation-wise, I think it looks really rad, and I love what the fact that they're giving more credence and more like center stage to the Adeptus Custodes, who are the bodyguards of the Emperor. However, this is where we get into kind of the muddy waters of the Adeptus Custodes, because about 6 months ago there was a Twitter post that released that the Adeptus Custodes have always been female. That it hasn't been, that it wasn't a brotherhood, that it was never a brotherhood, but it's always just been about here we go. That it's always been about, like, always had women within the ranks, which was a total gaslight, and a ton of fans, left or right, didn't like the fact that they were doing this. But for the longest time, people just thought, you know what, maybe it's just some like social justice, like 19-year-old intern who's like covering this, and they're going to get fired, and they're probably just trying to be an activist, right? No, my friends. This is a widespread brain rot, a little brain worm that has been traveling its way through Games Workshop and the Warhammer community, because this animation has been in the works for a while. So that post was not a rogue intern. That post was not just some rando. This is Games Workshop to its core, and they have introduced females into the ranks of the Adeptus Custodes. Now, there's a lot of lore that I could go on about, and I would bore everyone, so I won't go into that. But all you guys need to know essentially is that they have confirmed it with this new animation in the Tithes, which is the animation name. And I'll read a little bit of the article from Warhammer Community. It says, for the first time, we get to see the Space Marines of the White Templars, a chapter like many others pledged to defend the worlds under its stewardship. Yet, like their cousin chapters, the White Templars' concern for these planets has more to do with marshaling strategic resources than any sense of sentimentality or fondness for human life. Enter the Adeptus Custodes, which is the golden person right here. Specifically, Tyrith, a herald of the Emperor bestowed with the ultimate authority and a critical message. Ever wondered what the difference in combat prowess is between mortal Space Marine and Custodian Guard? Well, wonder no longer. Tyrith gets its Tyrith gets into some serious action before the episode is over. We also get to see the weight of the Custodians' authority. It's the first time in a Warhammer animation the Space Marines don't sit at the top of the metaphorical pyramid of power. Thankfully, we're all on the same side, right? So what you guys will notice is that it's a power balance, and the authority here is the Adeptus Custodes, which is the woman. And she's talking down to the Space Marines, and she's saying, "You will obey me," which I'll play a clip here in just a moment. It says, all Imperial organizations share the same goal, blah, blah, blah. Where was it? Oh, here we go. Technically, a few are exempt for various reasons. Feel free to look at the social media by pointing some of them out. Tyrith, Shiva, Kairos, the first three of a long honorific names earned fighting for the Emperor, has the privilege of being our first portrayal of a female custodian guard since the recent revelation that custodians can be any gender. Oh, wait a second. Any gender? Wait, so they can be like wolfkin? Can they be like wolf self? Can they be tree self? So any gender, guys. So that's good news.
Sir, half wolf, half human, I believe is Etherean. Okay, get it right.
Ooh, yep.
Get with the times, Max. And look,
shoot,
you know what? I'm just gonna say this. I'm proud of Tina for finally landing work. 17 years of trying, and Tina is finally getting some work in Hollywood. Good job, Tina. Good job.
Dude, she looks great here. Look at her.
Yeah, that is a handsome woman.
Drew's reaction. It really that's a jawline, boy.
That's a huge bitch.
It's a big bitch. This fact came as a real surprise to many. Oh, really? Oh, no. So just completely destroy a race and then destroy a race and then think that you're improving lore by just gaslighting fans and just being like, oh no, there have always been women of any gender in the Adeptus Custodes, even though multiple times in their codices it told the reader that they were a brotherhood, specifically a brotherhood, since it wasn't something previously explored. Now, I will say, to be fair, the Adeptus Custodes do have a ton more lore that is not talked about, that do have a lot more mystery concerning around it, which is why I think Games Workshop wanted to play around with the Adeptus Custodes, because there is a lot more myth, there's a lot more mysticism, there's a lot more uniqueness to their creation that hasn't been fleshed out within the pages of the lore, whereas Space Marines is pretty damn it's like, nope, you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, and that's how it's been for thousands of years. The Custodes are pretty unique because the Emperor has made them each individually as a unique fighter and bodyguard, whereas the Space Marines were created through industrialized ritual to be mass-produced brute force weapons of conquest. Well, I would also say they were meant to be some of the Emperor's not politicians, but like speakers, delegates, if you will, to speak to other people to say, join the Imperium or else. They're just not really good at being delegates. Each custodian, on the other hand, is unique, painstakingly made through peerless craft and arcane artifice. Their physique, their psyche, their very soul is a bespoke instrument of the Emperor they unquestioningly serve. We know a lot about Space Marines, relatively speaking, but there is still so much we don't know about custodians, particularly in Warhammer 40k, and their recruitment process is the least of these mysteries. So that is the article that basically talks about this. And here we go. This is your first portrayal of the first female Adeptus Custodes. And my God, does she look beautiful?
I look, I'm going to be on how these developers, they made this, they produced it, and they said to themselves, yes, this is perfect. This is amazing. This is not laugh out loud stupid. No, this is beyond ludicrous.
And the thing too is like, this is going to sound very sexist and misogynistic or whatever you want to say. But the reason why this looks so absolutely absurd is because instinctually we have something within us that when a woman looks like this, there's something as what did I say something? Did I say something wrong?
You struggled to say woman, but carry on.
Oh yeah, I said that was like the guy who at the church. I will date a women's. But yeah, no, we instinctually as men will see this from a woman and go like, "Come on, this is a joke. Like this isn't real, right?" Because it's absurd. It looks absurd. Women have a different physique. It's just genetically like it's not me trying to be misogynistic or sexist, and I'm not saying women need to get back in the kitchen. I'm just saying genetically, men and women have different dispositions within their bodies. And so when we look at something this ridiculous, you have to laugh because it's like, even in a fantastical setting as Warhammer 40K, this still looks ridiculous. I think the other thing to note here, symbolically, I don't know if they meant to do this or not, but the woman next to this abomination, this woman is actually badass. This is what's called a Sister of Silence. She has sworn an oath to not speak, and she is part of the episode, and only has a few things here and there. But the Sisters of Silence are already a faction within the Warhammer community. But Warhammer and Games Workshop said, "Nah, we won't do anything with them. We're going to like literally and physically, metaphorically, symbolically overshadow her with this absolute ridiculousness." So this is what I would watch a show for. The Sisters of Silence look amazing. Their lore is fantastic. And we really haven't seen them fleshed out all that much. But my God, they are really trying to push Olga over here to overshadow what is actually cool about the Sisters of Silence. They're just trying to say, well, women can be men too. And that's not their purpose, because the Sisters of Silence are wholly unique and separate from the Adeptus Custodes. Both are meant to be bodyguards for the Emperor, but both serve different purposes in their own unique ways, which makes them special and unique. But not anymore, because they're just both the same, because women are men and men are women, right? So, yeah. Do you guys want to see the absolute cringe that is the first female custodian?
Yeah, I want to hear his voice. I mean, sorry, I want to hear her voice.
You want to hear Tina's voice? All right. Well, here
Hi, my name's Tina. I'm a custode.
Hi, I'm Tina. Oops. No, I need to share the tab. There we go.
Look me in the eyes, you deny our request for reinforcements.
I am here as the Emperor's voice to command you to obedience. You will obey it.
Do your protocols require...
You will obey it. So there you guys go. That's her. That look right there. Just looking down at the stupid male space marine. Patua.
It looks like Christopher Reeve when he was hospitalized in his wheelchair.
Oh no!
It's not a good look.
No. Let's hear it one more time.
Do your protocols require you to look me in the eyes, you deny our request for reinforcements?
I am here as the Emperor's voice to command you to obedience. You will obey it.
Do you...
So,
oh man,
a couple things. Yes, a custodian would tell a space marine what to do. That is fair. Having her say it is just, they're doing this as a political stance. There is no other reason for them to want to try and do this. There's no reason in the lore for them to try and do this. There's no reason creatively or storytelling wise for them to do this. It is just them wanting to create division within the fandom and to try and be inclusive for the sake of being inclusive, or wanting to virtue signal to whoever, to an audience that's not even there. So this is in fact your new female character. Here is another Here's another post by Lord Inquisitor Adeptus Custodes. He says, I wouldn't have given a crap if GW had given some lore as to why female custodes are only now appearing. I guarantee that goes for most people. But GW tweeting they've always been there does not cut it. It's lazy. Those celebrating the chuds are getting owned are corporo bootlickers. Agreed.
Yeah. I also want to just touch on that, like, voice acting performance. It's very clear they made that actress deepen her voice.
Yeah.
Which it's like, okay, at this point, what are you really like? If you want it to be a female, let it be a female. She can be a giant and still be feminine.
Right.
But just from an acting standpoint, man, like when you go into lower registers or go into higher registers, you lose your range, which means you lose inflection, which makes her just sound retarded. Like,
Yeah, she sounds like Natalie Portman in The Phantom Menace.
yes, thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, I could see that. Yeah. Jay Ravage is having Yaira flashbacks. Yikes. Adopt or die.
Adopt or die.
Or die. Very similar.
Like a
yeah.
chomp.
Flaccid, I will look into this. I don't know if I know how to do that. But no, yeah, I think when you have to forcefully lower your voice, it sounds forced, which means it comes off as inauthentic, and it just comes off as being cringe.
Yeah,
they
like
should have either hired someone. Oh yeah,
you can do it. Like, you can do it so that it doesn't sound forced, but you need like a good 2 to 3 months of actually training your voice to speak in that lower octave. That way you can get some ebbs and flow. But it sounds like this person was hired and just came in and was told to do it, and they did it. And that's not good. But the whole thing is just god awful.
Yeah, the whole thing is a mistake. Marshall Bowman, who's a pretty large voice on Twitter, who talks a lot about this stuff. Like, he would be the equivalent of one of the people within like comic books within the culture war. He does that, but like for Warhammer, he's pretty outspoken. He says, imagine being a sore winner. Life must be exhausting for these people. And he's responding to this post that says, just in case there's still anyone claiming female custodes aren't canon, that it was a typo, a rogue editor or whatever, their other copium you were sniffing, you may now wither and perish. You will not be missed. Like the armory servitor and Darktide always says, goodbye. Cool, bro. Thanks. Enjoy the slop. So there you go. And yeah, this is another good point. The people celebrating this didn't like the Custodes before. Remember that. Most of these people, whether it's Warhammer, whether it's video games, whether it's comic books, whether it's movies, most of these people don't actually interact with this stuff on the hobby level. They interact with it on the social currency level, on the activist level, but not on the hobby level. So
tourists. They're tourists.
Oh, absolute tourists. Absolute. I said there was another phrase that I had used during a live stream. Cultural vandals. But yeah, absolute tourists. Thor Odinson, another really great voice on Twitter who talks a lot about this stuff. He says, by the way, the comments to this are incredible. Just over 200 posts, but more than half of the replies are negative. Many of them are talking about never giving GW money again or 3D printing. And remember, this is after Warcom went and blocked people in mass the last time they got mad over Femstodes. I wonder how long before Warhammer goes through the comments and starts mass blocking again. Got to keep blocking people in order to get that 100% consensus after all. Problem with this is the only real way to achieve consensus is to shrink your audience until it is a shadow of what it used to be. But then you end up with the acolyte. Damn. So yeah, I really hope this does not become the acolyte. So
what do you mean? I love the acolyte. It was great.
Well, because it made you money, right?
Yeah, scissor me timbers.
Scissor me timbers.
Yeah.
Oh, scissor me timbers, Xerxes. And in the context of female custodians and just what that might look like, or women and men, and what that tends to be like. This is just a random Instagram post I came across, but I'd encourage you to watch the man and the woman fight and just how different they are. And she's given it her all. She looks like a good boxer. But the guy is clearly, I mean, he's much stronger.
He's a
and
guy.
he's a guy, and he's using maybe half of his force here. So let's take a look. I don't want to play the music because it's gonna copyright me. So I'll give us some moderation here, but she's wondering whether or not she should like do anything, but he just whammo, just completely wreck shop. And he's like wondering, do I go as hard or do I? So here they're standing boxing and he's kind of having some fun. He's smiling. Oof. And his hits, they look like they hit hard, bro. So much so that she like has to stop.
Yeah.
You see right there, she's like, no, I'm done.
So you're partially covering up a comment that I really want to read the full thing of, that top one.
Ooh. Yeah.
So you don't hit people who don't know how to defend themselves. That's just abuse. It teaches nothing. Teach them how not to get hit first, block, slip, avoid. You'll be surprised how far. I don't know if because I saw the part that, this is just, or that's just abuse. I didn't know if he's referring to this, but if you're going to be realistic and if you want to realistically be able to protect yourself or defend yourself, part of that is facing the reality of how hard people can punch or kick.
Yeah.
So, you can have skills all you want to, but if you shut down based on one hit, like she does, that gut punch right there,
yeah,
you're done. If it's a life or death situation or someone trying to, rob you or mug you, which by the way, lived in Los Angeles for 10 years. I saw women get mugged at a freaking ATM all the time.
All the time.
If you're yeah. Oh yeah. My neighbor, the reason she had to stop working in the industry was because she was walking her dog Nico, and a guy came up beside her and just clocked her, broke her orbital bone, fractured her jaw, and then was feeling for a while, but she didn't care anything when she walked. And somehow, by the grace of God, Nico, who's a Karen Terrier, like Toto from Wizard of Oz, took off across Sunset and Highland diagonally during 6-7 p.m. rush hour traffic and did not get run over. But
what?
Yeah.
Where is this? What the hell?
Dude, LA. Anywhere in LA.
Oh my God.
But yeah, listen, if you're female, because look, this is brutal. It does look like it hurts. But if you're serious about wanting to learn how to protect yourself, part of it is going to be learning how to take a punch.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, no, you're right. If this girl, because this girl looks serious, it looks like she actually wants to get better. It looks like she wants to train hard. If that's the case, I say the man should give her exactly what he's going to give her. This comment says, you guys want to know how to piss off a girl in the training room? Go light and be gentle sparring because she's a girl. Exactly. Hey, women want equality, right? Women want to be able to fight men and want to be the female Adeptus Custodes. They want to be men. Yeah, all right. Well, then we'll do that. We'll freaking drop you on your back and we will treat you like a training partner. And if that's the case, then that's what this is going to look like. Like I said, this guy is going half speed. He's not really even trying. And you can see that she is absolutely physically drained right now. This isn't something that is me being, like I said, hateful. This is just basic genetics and biology that we're
well, and endurance. I mean, it's clear that she doesn't have the endurance for it.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's see what else. This guy says the English comment you were looking for. They're training for a competition. That's why the intensity of it, even though the guy is not striking full power. Exactly. If he really wanted to strike full power, this would be over in one punch. So, let's see. Gender equality, 2,800 likes. Yeah, there you go. So there you go, Femstodes. I mean, this is what you're looking for, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But did it say what kind of? I mean, I know that guy said competition. Does it say what kind of? Is it just mixed martial arts? Does that look like that's what it is?
I think so. Yeah. If he's doing takedowns, it's probably MMA.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking kickboxing, but if
Possibly.
you're doing takedowns, I think that's more than kickboxing. I don't know.
Yeah. I would
yeah.
just say, like, if you're a smaller person and you do want to learn to protect yourself, take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of how that is tailored is for if you are smaller than your opponent, ways for you to get leverage. That's a huge aspect of that. So if you are female or you're a short dude or little guy or whatever it might be, and you seriously want to learn to protect yourself, look into that, and learn striking stuff too, because it's not a lot of striking. But yeah. Anyways.
Takedowns and manipulations are going to be huge if you're small, if you're lighter or smaller, or because if you can learn how to manipulate someone bigger than you into tapping them out or breaking something or making like you're hopefully going to win that fight. But yeah, it's tough though. Learning those manipulations and those takedowns and stuff like that, it can be tough. But if you got a guy who's just trying to brute force you, then you can really have some skill. This comment says this is not sparring, it's domestic violence. You sure about that?
No.
You sure about that?
If I told you once, I told you twice. I don't like my bacon extra crispy.
Oh, I told you to cut the crust off of my damn sandwich. You don't listen, woman.
Woman, is this mustard? Only pansies eat mustard.
Raphael says, "Yep, I do jujitsu. If you're a little jujitsu is the way to go." Thanks, Raphael. Hey, you're right. You're right. Yeah, Flaccid. I'm sorry, brother. I don't want to. I'm not sure how to figure it out to make to have your stream go to mine, but maybe next week. And plus, I just don't want to step away too much from the topic that we're discussing. So, because I guarantee it would take me like 10 minutes to figure it out, and that whole time would just be awkward silence. So, but I appreciate it, Don. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, so that is that. In terms of the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do have a clip of her fighting in the show if you want me to show that. So.
Do we want to see it? I mean, is there any redemption here at all, or does it just make it worse?
The weird part is that I think the animation looks cool, but behind the mask is just it's ma'am behind the mask.
Yeah.
So so I want to try and be as fair as possible, because people are going to be like, well, you just don't like it because it's a woman. It's like, no, I can recognize when something is good, and I recognize that the animation here is pretty cool. And I would love to see a series on Adeptus Custodes, but this is what the actual animation looks like in the game. Or it's not in the game, in the TV show. So that's her. That's her right there, running. Gadoosh! Fighting some cool Tyranid. Slaughters him. Takes out another one. Douche. It's pretty cool, man. I mean, I think it looks good.
I'm getting Black Widow Taskmaster vibes. I'm just saying.
Ooh, very much so. Very much so. And then here are your Space Marines, your White Templars, who are going to be asking for reinforcements. But yeah, these are movements of a man, and you can definitely tell that, like, once that mask comes off, it's going to be that tiny little Taskmaster head of the woman who is. But then the funny enough, the stunt man was a man for Taskmaster. So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason the stuntman was a man, because that was a last minute change to make Taskmaster the female.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be whatever his name is, John Fag, whatever his name. Something. It's got fag in it, and I'm not being a douchebag. It really does.
Fag.
Fagel.
Kevin Feige. I don't know. All right. So what is next? Well, we pretty much covered the Adeptus Custodes and the females, the Femstodes, if you will. Do you guys have anything else to say on that before we go to our next topic for the evening?
I don't.
All right, sweet. So there was a massive hate campaign that was released this week for all of our favorite YouTubers. Yeah, for these guys right here, for FNT. This is Quarter Black Garrett. This is what oh, hold on, I have to share the tab. This is what Quarter Black Garrett posted in response to the backlash. Whew. But that is if that is not the most accurate video ever.
I'm glad I'm on the side of sanity. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You and like good takes. So
It just all comes
Um,
across as individuals who were brats as kids, whining their asses off, and still act like they're fucking 4-year-olds. You know, just
Mhm.
whining to get whatever the fuck they want. It's like, grow the fuck up. It's not how the
Yeah,
world
man.
works.
And that no, and you're so right too, because like these are all people who think by just calling people meanies and bullies and having a literal targeted harassment campaign that they're going to get what they want. And they were so furious to find that YouTube could not find anything that was wrong with their terms of service that they're just going to do it again. Wait a couple months, we'll see another one, and then wait another couple months and we'll see another hate campaign, we'll see another one. It is the quintessential cancel pig method of they slither away. They do a hate campaign and then they slither away, and then they do another one and then they slither away again.
well, they what's
Nothing.
bad
Yeah.
is they don't even slither away at this point. It's just nonstop until one of their videos or one of their posts catches traction again 3 or 4 months later. Like they're still continually, they're obsessed. They are obsessed.
Yeah.
And this is where something like to protect creatives on YouTube needs to come into handy, where it's like, okay, this certain profile has been attempting to flag people for the past God knows how many months or whatever. It's like, why can't YouTube do something to be like, okay, you've been flagging people for so long, we are now suspending your account. Like you cannot do anything, you cannot say anything, you can't do anything on YouTube for a year or whatever, because you've been bitching and complaining for so long.
Well, I wonder if YouTube has like a list of people that they're just like, oh, it's them again. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they're complaining again. Because it comes from the same people and they always say the same thing. This person has stood too long. They've been around for too long. We need to deplatform them. And it just feels like there's really no repercussions for that.
No, there's none.
And I'm not saying that there necessarily should be, but when you are defaming people,
no,
and trying to get
really, there should be
platformed.
Yeah, if you're doing this, if you're false flagging like profiles on YouTube with just because you don't fucking like them, because they
Right.
you don't agree with them, and that's it. No, there should be repercussions for that.
And that's what's fascinating, is that like these people wouldn't go after like I don't know, Asmongold, that's another big YouTuber. Charlie from Moist Critical, he has like 15 million subs, and he said the same thing about Acolyte. He's like, this show sucks. Why am I watching a bunch of space lesbians in space? Or space lesbians in space? Which lesbians in space? But no, Rewriting Ripley didn't go after him. They went after our guys because they have this hate boner for them. And it is always fully torqued. So
I would like to see someone that has enough clout and ability to do so take one of these jokers to like a defamation lawsuit, which I know it's just civil, but if you're gonna come in and make accusations about people that aren't founded accusations, like, and look, saying someone's a black bitch doesn't that's not necessarily a racist thing.
right.
You're saying a black person is acting like a bitch. But if you're gonna, let's be honest though. Like if you called me a white bitch, I'd be like, you know what? Sometimes I am. Or a white asshole, and I'd be like, yep, that fits every now and then. Or hey, look at this white dick over here, and I'm like, yep, sorry. But it's like, you know, I don't know if there's a point where you're, because we have the person that did the video, this rewriting Ripley pod, but you've also got that Grayson character that's all over Twitter right now, that's like daily posting stuff, calling people, you know, racist or Yahtzees and you know, white supremacists. They're calling them the whole gambit, and it's like, keep doing it. Like I don't know if Gary and Critical Drinker are getting big enough that it's like, you know, they have the ability to go after people if they want to. And I'm not saying like send the lynch mob. I'm saying, you know, there's a point where this could cause damages in terms of, you know, temporary loss of monetization or whatever, but then it might come back to be like, oh, this was unjustified, your monetization is back. It just happened to shoot.
Oh, Jay, Drunk 3PO.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So
And well, thankfully, Jay is now at 100,000 subscribers. So congrats to Jay. But yeah, before that, YouTube had made a mistake and completely nuked his channel. And that's the scary thing about YouTube, is that at any, like, it is the worst job security in the world, because at any moment there could be something that just takes you out. And so for these rewriting Ripley yahoos, they are trying to take, not just deplatform someone, they're trying to take the livelihood of these people. And I don't know if they know this, but Ryan, Jeremy, and Gary all have children, all have families to support, all have houses, all have lives outside of YouTube that they are supporting with their work. Regardless of whether you like it or not, they still have a livelihood. And these rewriting Ripley lunatics are trying to destroy that, which is, to your point, Josh, why, if there were to be repercussions in terms of a lawsuit, like a defamation lawsuit, I think they could potentially do something there. Like I think that there would be some legal grounds to discuss. Am I saying that it should happen? I don't know. I really don't know. It's tough to say, because the more it's kind of like when you have grape allegations, you know, from women to men, and if you keep having that be a thing where these innocent men are either going to jail, or innocent men are being fined thousands and tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars for false accusations, are we then going to imprison the women? Right? Like, that's the next, that's
So
what, if you're held
can't-
accountable.
You can't do it as a criminal charge. You can only do it as a civil charge. But I think at some point, if people don't learn that there are consequences to actions you take, and if you're going to harass and defame a person, an individual, a channel, a business, whatever, and then it's found to be unjustified, I think the people that suffered whatever this is should take action. Because I think the only way you're going to get people to stop and maybe choose their words a little more carefully is if it comes back to bite them in the ass.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I mean, that's my. I'm not saying like send everyone to jail. Like I don't even know if you could do that, but
Right.
don't pay a hefty fine.
But yeah, it's exactly. I really believe a hefty monetary fine on these people that will really. It's one thing we've learned. You know, money makes the world go around, and like if you hurt someone's pocketbook, yeah, that's gonna fuck them up. And I think
We also know
really
these people don't have money.
No.
very true. Yeah.
No. But yeah, and I think that's the thing. They need to use their adult conversation tone, and they can't do that because they don't know how to. They don't know how to actually speak and articulate in a manner that is not racist, like them saying, like, I would challenge them to say anything that's not about racism, misogyny, sexism, homophobia, like all the buzzwords, right? White supremacy. Take that out of their vocabulary, and I'm pretty sure they have nothing, or no ground to stand on, essentially, at that point.
Exactly. And you know what I would like to see? I would like to see these rewriting Ripley pod people come back and say why they liked the show, without
Yeah, there
saying
you go.
woman, lesbian, you know, DEI. Like,
Yeah.
cool. That is great that you support that. That does not make a good show or a good
Correct.
movie or a good game.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
a
other
really
thing
good
too
point,
is
though, Josh.
you can't come in and make these accusations that these people are racist or sexist or whatever it might be when their recent history, they're praising shows like House of the Dragon, which has a ton of, like females in it, strong
Yeah.
females. I mean, second season was a little softer. It didn't get the praise, but season 1 especially got a lot of praise. You had FX's Shogun that came out. They got a shit ton of praise, and it's got, I'm wanting to say the 2 leads are male and female. And then you have X-Men 97, which is a gay dude with the animated, that everyone was like, I don't know about this. And it came out, and then they're like, this is really fucking good.
And
So you have no grounds to stand on.
Correct. Yeah. And the funny thing is, Mahler's favorite show is Buffy, full of female characters, right? So like, it's just these people don't actually do their research. They don't actually look into what it is that they're talking about. And even if they did, and they did watch the show, The Acolyte, like you said, tell us why you liked it, other than just the catchphrase of the week. Women
If you can,
empowering.
if you can come in and say, I liked the way they filmed this, I liked the acting here, I thought this was good writing, I may not agree with you, but I'll go, okay, I'll take that, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
And that's it. We're done.
And then the conversation over, right?
Yeah.
Mahler says all this because a Star Wars show sucked ass. Next time, if you want it renewed, don't snitch to daddy, demonetize about the mean people with opinions you don't like. Watch the show. Unless, of course, you don't actually like it and did this because you are pathetic.
Yep.
Love it. Mahler is a man who uses his words wisely. Very articulate.
What's interesting is I feel like this is just now like hitting the YouTube sphere, whereas in the comic sphere we've essentially been dealing with this since 2016. Like,
oh, dude, right? Yeah, no, that's a good point.
like we started dealing with publishers coming to us saying like, we don't like your honest reviews. We're going to take away your review copies. It happened to us at Batman News temporarily until we threatened to release some conversations, and then it happened to Jim, and then Jim said, fine, take your fucking books, I don't want them for weird signs. But even then we had people being like, why is this guy reviewing this book? He's a homophobe. And I'm like, I'm gay, you retard. Like, what are you talking about?
It's your internalized depression, Josh.
That's
gosh right. To read the actual quote here, Team YouTube says, thanks for reaching out. Just heard back and confirmed that this content is not violative and will remain up. We totally understand you may not agree with this decision, but we reviewed this video carefully against our policies. So let's go back. Then Rewriting Ripley responds, this is an admission that you have not reviewed our concerns, proven by saying this video when there are 10 plus videos in question. However, thank you for confirming your inability to take safety seriously. You and your advertisers. Yeah, because their words are violence, Drew. This is
everything is violence to these. Everything is violence to these jackasses. Silence is violence. Talking is violence. It's like, what the fuck isn't violence to these jackasses?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's actually...
you're wearing cotton. Oh my god, that's violence and oppressive to black people. How dare you?
It is.
I swear. I'm not kidding. This is not hyperbole. These people are as miserable and unhappy as Middle Eastern terrorists.
They're fucking lunatics.
Yeah. I love this one. By the way, all comments are turned off. This one is wild. Additionally, I would like to point out, Team YouTube, that nobody in Star Wars fandom has requested select videos be removed, simply that a handful of YouTube channels should be demonetized. Simply. Okay. So
it's just that
totally
easy. It's just that simple. Yeah, that easy.
Yeah. No, guys, we don't want the videos removed. We want their entire livelihood revoked. It's just that simple, though, guys. It's not a video. It's not just one video. It's their entire channel demonetized. The lack of clarity in your response to address our real concerns is appalling. This is that is a lunatic behavior that you're like, oh, by the way, YouTube, just to be clear, we don't want a video removed. we want these people removed from the earth. Simply, like
So who are
just-
these people who quote unquote work for rewriting Ripley?
People.
Who are yeah.
I have no idea. They are unhappy they thems who have no personality or interesting unique quality about them other than hating Gary and Jeremy and Ryan, which is sad in itself because they're just normal dudes. Like Josh and Drew and I have hung out with all three of these guys and they're just like regular people. I don't I just find it hilarious that you have entire, rewriting Ripley podcast Twitter accounts and Star Wars fandoms trying to cancel these people when they're just normal dudes. I don't know.
Well,
but
let's also acknowledge the because this clearly these Gary and all them hate this because they're the R word or the S word or whatever. But let's look at the people that work with and or for them. They cover multicultural races, male and female. A lot of them have very different backgrounds. If you wanted to try to throw a homophobe slur out there, Gary and Melissa have worked with gay individuals for decades. Like they were in San Francisco for years. Like, sorry, you're losing because you're upset someone shares a different opinion with you, and the only thing you can do is have your temper tantrum like a child, because that's all you are as a child.
They just do this.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah. When they realize that the people who actively have a different opinion than you are actually the majority of people and that you are the minority in this discussion. So Flaccid will do, brother. Thank you, sir. I will check it out after the stream. And Razile, yes, we did already talk about the female custodian, quote unquote, the femstodes, if you will. And if you want to go back and rewatch that, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, we covered that, I think, in good detail. So we are on to our next topic. But yeah, I just love this GIF. It is so funny to me because it's so accurate. Garrett is really good at this stuff. He's a master at editing. So anything else before we go into some clips and then call it a night?
Now, what clips are we
These
doing?
people need help. Yeah, these people need help. Jesus
Yeah, they
Christ.
need.
We've known that.
Help is an understatement. So
yeah.
But yeah, Josh, let me ask you. So you were working at Batman News. Now, at the state of things, do you feel like you're missing out by not working there anymore? Okay.
No.
Because I was gonna say, I feel like these YouTubers who are now experiencing this stuff, they're probably like, I'm glad at the position where I'm in,
Yeah. I think if I had to review weekly comics the way we review them there, to the extent that we reviewed them, I would probably go play Minecraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, you mean the new Minecraft movie?
Oh yeah, that looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But also for me, it's the the team that's there, and I don't mean this as a knock, but when we first started, the comic book team there was legitimately good, had a shit ton of knowledge, had a very strong history, with Batman and comics in general, and a lot of the people there now do not. So, but I'm not saying that as a slag. You have to start somewhere, but there are a lot of people with very strong opinions, and they've barely read anything.
Ah, I see. And the one of the things you told me that I think would be one of the hardest parts is the fact that how much you have to write on a comic that may have really no substance at all. And so
we had to
almost having to write.
Yeah, we had to have a minimum of 1,000 words per review.
Bro.
So
absolutely not.
Oof.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Because then you're doing more work than the actual author did.
Dude, that's why I was like rage quit. I was like, I'm so fucking done with this bullshit. James, sign in, you lazy motherfucker.
The last
And it's
house
only
by the
gotten
side of the
worse.
ocean on the lake of the this. Of
I
the
liked that book,
something is
sorry.
killing the... I did watch your weekly or your monthly comic reviews, and you liked issue number 1. Fascinating. So,
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh,
We'll see what happens from there.
Tiny Onion.
Yeah.
Speaking of reviewing comics, your favorite comic came out last month, and man, did it make an entrance. So I'm gonna go
Gotham
ahead.
City Sirens. Right?
Close.
Okay.
X-Men.
X-Men.
So
Na-na-na-na.
yeah.
Na-na.
No, all right, we're done. We'll just do the whole theme song in one sitting. So I asked this question to Drew on Thursday night when we did our Friday night show. We had to do it an evening earlier, but I wanted to ask you, Josh, because I'm interested to hear your take. Before we do, I do want to shout out to our lovely, beautiful ma'am, right? Josh, what?
Brown magic
Is Vex
bonus
like
hole.
Tina?
No,
Oh
she's not
yeah,
like Tina.
she's
She is
that's right.
of the
She's our
brown
special
variety.
bonus hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. To our favorite bonus hole, Vex Electronica. She says, "I identify as a female custody." Well,
Vex,
I-
remind
that
me again.
tracks.
Are you 7-Eleven or are you 9-11? I can't remember.
Oh no.
I love you, Vex.
Shade of brown. Love you, Vexy. Thank you for being here.
To be serious, I think she's Sri Lankan, but she might murder me for saying that if I'm wrong. So I really don't know. She might take more offense to me saying that than my
Then
joke.
she would actually be offended.
Yeah.
She'd be like,
Okay,
the good guy.
good to know. Don't listen to my last
Bro,
comment.
you would not want to hear what we called individuals on deployment. It was wild. So
Yeah. Sorry.
anyway,
Derailed.
no, we got distracted.
And
by-
demonetized.
well, I mean, we haven't seen anything yet that bad, right? Oh,
I've tried to skirt the lines.
yeah. If anything, Kyle got us demonetized on Thursday. That was funny. But yeah, so Josh, I know for you, X-Men issue number 2 was maybe the worst thing you've read this year.
Yeah, they're like this. There's a lot of steaming piles of shit that's on the screen right now.
Yeah. And this is so I was just gonna say this is supposed to be like the new launch. Like they were putting everything into this. Like they're like from the ashes, a new beginning, brand new titles. We're making like we're getting rid of Krakoa. We're gonna, we're gonna give you guys what you want finally. And it just feels like all new, all different Marvel from 2016. I mean, this is abysmal. Drew, I mean, I think you and I have read almost every book on here. No, we have read every book on here. And I don't think I have one that I would say is actually good that I enjoyed.
Well, some haven't come out yet.
Yes, that's true. Thank you. The books that have come out: Uncanny, Adjectiveless, Exceptional, Nyx, X-Force, X-Factor, and Phoenix are all out.
Yep.
Sentinel, Storm, Mystique, Dazzler, and Wolverine have yet to be released. So
correct. But there are 2 other Wolverine books out.
Dude, that's what's wild is there's going to be the Chris Claremont Wolverine.
Yep.
There's the Wolverine that was super underwhelming, which has
was it Hickman or Aaron and Greg Capullo?
Hickman and Greg Capullo. Then you have the regular Wolverine title, just his solo book, and now you're going to have another one. Is that right? So 4 total.
I think the regular Wolverine title turns into this Wolverine title.
Ah, I see.
So I think
Okay.
they're ending the current run if it's still going, and then
Having
relaunching.
it. Okay. Into Saladin Ahmed's. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, we're gonna have potentially 3 to 4 Wolverine titles, and maybe only one of them being good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Look, the only title here I'm holding out hope for is the Sentinels book. That's the only one I'm just like, please God, just be fun, kill some mutants, please.
yeah.
And the others, I am not expecting much from Storm or Mystique. They've had series in the past, but they never lasted that long. I wonder why. But we'll see what happens. And it's amazing just how many strikes they've been given. I mean, swings and misses they've been given in this new batch of X books, and they've all predominantly been misses. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Do you know who the creative teams are for Sentinel, Storm, and Mystique?
Sentinels were, I think it was 2 guys. I didn't really recognize the names on Sentinels. Give me a minute. Let me find it.
I think I can
Sorry,
look it
I
up
didn't mean
here,
to derail.
No, you're not
well,
derailing. It's a good
While
question.
we're looking, I'll just say so far, the only thing that I thought was even remotely bearable was Uncanny X-Men, Gail Simone's. That by far is the only thing that I didn't want to like burn or rip. But even then, there was a moment that pissed me off with Rogue and the Make-A-Wish kid. That I'm like, she would never put herself in that position. So
Ever.
So for me, like that was a really bad call as a writer. It's a bad judgment call. But other than that, the rest of the book was fine. It just was a terrible debut. It would have been a good filler issue in between arcs. So
I hated the I really did not like the ending though, because the ending side tangent. Sentinels is going to be written by Alex Packnadel and art by Justin Mason.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Alex Packnadel's. I mean, he looks like he's written a lot of shit, but it's stuff that's. I mean, okay, none of this was really great. A lot of this was maybe good at best, but we'll see. I just kill some mutants, please. I'm not asking much.
Ooh, but here's some hope. Mystique will be written by Declan Shelby.
Oh, the most boring Wolverine writer on the planet. How about that?
Yay. But you know what? If anything, these Wolverine covers are pretty rad. I'll say that.
Yeah, sure.
But that's really all it's got
cool.
going for you. Yeah. Dazzler, written by Jason Liu, art by Rafael Loureiro. So yeah.
Yeah, no. Cool.
So yeah, I'll come back to the question though, Josh. Which was the worst do you think you've read out of these?
So I have to be honest, I have not read Exceptional X-Men yet because sorry. But for me, it's gonna fall between Nick's X-Men #2 and most likely Exceptional X-Men.
Yeah.
And I thought X Factor was gonna be in that bottom tier, and it somehow managed to squeak out. Like
that. You're right. That's fair.
Mark Russell's gonna Mark Russell, but at least it seemed like there was some form of competency in trying to craft the story. Where the others, it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like this is just rambling.
That's exactly the thing. Like at least Mark Russell has like plot points that he's trying to hit, and like a story that he's like roughly trying to tell. It's still Mark Russell, but at least it's comprehensive, somewhat, or like there's like a through line.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're not funny, but at least you understand how a story structure works.
Yes, yeah, right. Vaguely. But yeah, Exceptional X-Men, like it's not even a comic book.
You're
like,
giving it a thumbs up? You just gave it a thumbs up.
No, Mac.
Can't go back now. Go. Oh, okay.
Boo. Wait, will it pick up both of them if I do this? Boo, Exceptional. Boo. But I know that Perch was very adamant about saying Exceptional was by far the worst. Like
Perch?
Yeah. And I'm
okay, look, I haven't read it. I will still say the book that like made me angry was
Yes.
X-Men #2.
Yes.
And I love
Okay.
Perch, but Perch is also friends with Jed McKay. So I don't think he's going to go that far. He said it wasn't great.
No. Look. No, seriously, you have to read Exceptional X-Men. You have to read this damn book. Honestly, when you read this, you're gonna be like, wait, what? This is the whole damn comic. This is what we're doing here. It is shocking how bad this comic is.
I'm gonna play that "I'm Cute, I'm Demure" song while reading Exceptional X-Men.
Oh no!
I'm gonna have it blasting as ambiance as I read this book.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh,
Yeah, no,
no.
it's pretty terrible.
Oh,
And then the only thing with Uncanny is even though I liked some of what Wolverine, Gambit, and Rogue had going on a little bit, they ruined their goodwill because by the end of the issue, we're now getting Horseman, Horsewoman.
that's right. I forgot about
We're getting
that.
the Zoomer group. So we're getting that weird group of Zoomers that's going to be here. And now the book is going to focus on them because they're like refugees. And I'm like, no, you guys are ruining the Uncanny X-Men. Like the book is not meant for them. I thought we're going like from the ashes, right? I thought we're rising from the ashes to focus on the main characters. But no, we're going to focus on like these random group of diversity hire Zoomers. Ugh. So yeah, Uncanny, I do not have hope for. X-Men issue #2 was maybe one of the most offensively bad we've read. Exceptional X-Men is the stupidest. It has no structure. It has absolutely nothing of value or
It's
worth.
shocking.
This is the
shocking.
one with the girl, potentially trans person, having the temper tantrum, and right?
Correct.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got Kitty. You
Parts
have
of this.
Kitty making mimosas, and you got Kitty talking to rats out in an alleyway.
What?
It's just like what the yes. These are all these are all points in this book. It's like what the fuck are we doing here?
Brother. Yes, it is shocking. On our review on Thursday, I said I can't consider it a comic book. I do not consider it like it's not worthy of being even titled. It's less than the bag and board that it would come in because it's just not a comic book.
Are we sure? What's her name? Are we sure Eve Ewing and is it Michelle Williams, Stephanie Williams, whichever Michelle? Who's the one that did the really shitty X Factor and is doing Gotham City Sirens right now?
Oh, Stephanie.
No, I think it's the bimbo. It's the bimbo one. Leah. I think it's Leah Williams.
Oh yeah, no,
Leo.
The boobs one. Yeah, the one with the tits. Yeah. Gotham City Sirens is pretty abysmal as well, but that one is like laughably bad because it's so like she's talentless. She has zero talent. The only thing that she's known for is her characters calling themselves whores and sluts.
And her tits.
And her tits.
Yeah,
Most notably her tits.
Does weird shit like, I'm going to have this character talk to rats. Like she does that same weird type of shit.
Yeah.
So are we sure they're not the same person? And she's trying to get clout for coming off as Asian?
Unless Eve Ewing had a race change and grew 3 cup sizes. I don't think so.
Yeah. But then you've got Nyx. Guys, Nyx.
No.
It's great.
Burn it.
Yeah, burn it all.
Pee on it.
Oh man. It's like I was at least hoping for one of these to be fine. Even like the regular X-Men title, I was like, you know what? Hey, at least we got Stegman on art. But Stegman's art sucks in this.
And he's off after the 3rd issue.
Yeah.
So
it's like nothing is right. Everything is wrong.
I think the harder thing to do would be saying which one of these, which are the 3 best. And I'm assuming we would also say X-Men is potentially the best. So has X-Men 2 come out yet? I'm just playing catch up still.
Yeah. Uncanny X-Men 2 is not. But
okay.
X-Men 2 has.
If I were to say the best, and no way am I saying these are good, I would have to say Uncanny X-Men.
Yes.
The first 6 pages of X-Force was solid. And then for the third pick, just remember, kids, go down the street, not across. Well, go down the road, not across the street.
Yes, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, X-Force, I actually forget X-Force and Phoenix. I forget what happened in those books. But Nyx, yeah, I'd say Uncanny is number 1. I'd almost say X Factor is number 2. And that's like
X-Force. With X-Force, there's so much going on, and a lot of it's just so much gobbledygook. And it's just like I don't understand what the fuck is happening in this book.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, all right, boys. Well, here it is. Our only hope left: Wolverine, Dazzler, Mystique, Storm, and Sentinels.
I mean, clearly Dazzler is going to be the shining star.
Well, yeah, of course,
because she's fabulous.
Look, she's doing the
fabulous.
She's doing like the fabulous dance. Yeah. No, I made the joke with Kyle and Drew on Thursday. I said, Dazzler, Mystique, and Storm, I know are going to fail because they have female protagonists, but I have some hope in Wolverine and Sentinels. Obviously, I'm kidding, but am I really, though? I don't know. But, no. Wolverine, I'm going to leave some hope for. I think it'll be fine.
You're not no. Are you kidding me?
All right.
Name one thing he's done well.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
But the art looks okay.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't get any.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they do, but hopefully we don't get any anti-Jewish sentiments like we did in Daredevil from him. But we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. Yikes. All right. Well, we'll kind of end the night on this topic. So this is not really pop culture, but I think this has been a massive part of our childhoods. So Linkin Park just recently hired on a new vocalist to replace Chester Bennington,
R.I.P.
whose vocal performance, R.I.P. was like bone-chillingly, hauntingly good. Chester, I think, has one of those vocals performances that like I don't think anyone will be able to replicate. And so I will say I am blessed and super grateful. I had the opportunity to see Linkin Park live when Chester was still here on this earth. So it was just as good as you would expect it to be, almost better live, because his voice just completely like belts and echoes throughout stadiums and stuff. And it sounds amazing. And you can hear the emotion coming through each lyric. So Chester is an absolute legend. And yet Linkin Park wanted to hire someone to replace that. I'm going to play this. I've got 2 clips for you guys, and we'll then decide how we feel about the new lead singer. But from what I've been seeing mostly is the consensus for most people just says DEI hire.
Well,
this
and
is nothing but a diversity hire.
Didn't the drummer quit after the new hire or something? I heard,
did
like
he?
the drummer. Yeah, I heard like the drummer left.
Oh, potentially. I mean, like I would see what, like I wouldn't. What do you call it? I wouldn't blame him if he left.
So they disbanded after Chester died,
right?
But they also. So here's the thing with bands, and I would have to do some research. So please don't take it that this is actually the case with them. But a lot of times when you have bands, your band is not signed to the label. Your frontman is signed to the label, and you're there. Yeah. So if it's Chester and then Chester is now gone, there's no longer a contract. Thank you, Linkin Park. Appreciate everything you've done.
Right.
If they then bring someone forward and then the label thinks it's worthy because they're back with Warner Music again. I don't know. It's interesting, but I'd have to look into the drummer of it all. But yes, I think they got her, and then a guy named something Britton is new.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Mike Shinoda. I know he is back. I think he was probably maybe one of the front guys to get this gal on board. I really don't know, but I'll leave the judgment to y'all. So we'll play these clips and we'll see how this new girl sounds. It just feels like if they're going to get someone new to stand in for Chester, just name your band different. Just have a different band name, or just come out as something different. You guys clearly aren't Linkin Park, and she's clearly never going. No matter how good she is, I don't care who you are, she's never going to be Chester. So this just feels like pandering. I don't know.
So
Especially, yeah.
my only argument that I will say against this, because I've watched clips of her, but my only argument against this would be Evanescence, who I think in 2002 when they came out, I would say we were all probably fans of Evanescence at that time.
Hell yeah.
So pretty much everyone in the band of Evanescence left by the second album. So you had Evanescence, but the only person that was still there was Amy Lee.
Yeah.
And then Evanescence reformed a whole new band, and they were called We Are the Fallen. And it's something that Ben Moody could have fought for the name of Evanescence and didn't. But guess what? Nobody listened to them. Nobody knew they really existed.
Yeah.
And the people that did hear them went, oh, this is an Evanescence ripoff, when it's literally the entire Evanescence band except the singer.
That is fascinating. I mean, Amy Lee kind of is. She is the voice of Evanescence, but
Ben Moody was the writer of every song, produced almost every song.
Oh wow!
And then look at, I mean, what do you, name an Evanescence song after their first album? Because they've had like 4 or 5 now. You can't.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
It's
I just
weird.
I just know their songs from the Daredevil soundtrack.
Yeah,
which
and
are amazing.
They had an album that was like electro poppy rock. It was weird, but yeah.
I know she did a great. She did a duet with the guy from Seether called "Broken," and they did that for Punisher. So
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
she's a good singer. Wow, Amy Lee's a good singer. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's great. No, I like her a lot. At least her vocals. But yeah, I mean, I'll plead guilty here. I still occasionally will listen to Evanescence if I'm feeling my goth phase. If
why not?
I'm in the car, I'll put on their first and second album. Why not? But I mean, this girl isn't even Amy Lee. I don't know what she is. So, but thank you for context though, because you may be right in that if Mike Shinoda was going to bring back the band Evanescence or freaking Linkin Park, they most likely wanted to keep the name to keep their critical
sales,
acclaim, their popularity. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That's fair.
Oh God.
Yeah, she's really flat.
Oh,
and I get she's screaming.
She's like yelling into the microphone.
I have thoughts, but I'll let you play the clips.
Okay.
It sounds like Ashley Simpson. Jesus Christ.
Oh no. So I do have to pause it like every few seconds though, so bear with me. Just
so we don't get taken down.
Yeah, exactly. So
These words, they will not be
Yeah.
There are like parts where I'm like, okay, like that's all right, but then she goes back up to like that octave or the scran. I'm like, I'll continue.
And again, she is screaming, but she is still flat, and there's a reason for this.
Yeah.
But we'll go into what that is. I guess after this clip.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing,
not a justification reason, just there's something she could do, and this would not happen, but she's trying to do something.
Ooh, now I'm intrigued. All right.
Yeah.
So I'll play one more just to get, for good measure, right? We want to make sure that we're doing her justice. We want to play a fair amount of clips. This guy did her dirty though. He says someone said the new singer from Lincoln Park sounds like JoJo Siwa when she
Just
screams, and
wrong.
now I can't unhear her.
So wrong.
Damn, why you got to do this girl like that? So I'll play this.
So long, I can feel you there. Because so tired, so much far away. I become it's be more like that and be less like that. Can't you see the
Yeah.
the mistake to you?
Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow.
I become so numb, I can feel you.
This is painful.
Yeah, it's bad.
Whew, man.
So I have a lot of complex thoughts here. So I'm just going to say this. I think the smartest thing they could have done if they were going to resurface the band as Linkin Park is get a female singer. And the reason I say that is if you go with the male singer, he's always going to get compared to Chester. Now, here's her problem. So they've already got their new song out. That's an original song. And she sounds, and look, it could be studio, but her voice sounds more natural on that. And what I mean by this is in both of these clips, she's trying to sing this like Chester sang it. And when you're a guy, and it goes back to the whole acting thing. It's how your voice works. When you're a guy, if you try to go higher, your like if you sit in a higher or mid register, your voice is going to get thinner. So when Chester's screaming, he screams from like down in the back of his throat. So like there's he to get the grit, he tenses here, and then he screams. When she does that, she is struggling to get there, and then she has no range whatsoever at all. So she's trying to be Chester singing these songs, and it makes her sound like shit, and that's why she sounds flat. Now, if she came in and was like, look, I'm a chick, I can do some grit, but I'm not going to be able to do the full grit like he does, how he does it, and she had just sang in a register that's more fitting for her, it would have sounded way, way better. It still would have been like, yo, a chick singing Linkin Park, I don't know how I feel about this, but she would have been able to do way more. She wouldn't have been flat, and it wouldn't have been this like deadline of a note that she's just saying the different words to, punching the same notes. If you listen to their new song, you hear way more texture to her voice that I'm like, this chick's pretty good. And I don't think the song's good. I would be open to potentially listening to it if they had some good songs.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go and try to emulate Chester in all the old songs, you're going to fail. Like, you cannot do that. Like, you can't go and sing someone that's got such a distinct sounding voice. You can't just go try to be them. You're never going to be them.
Yeah.
So
if she were singing, I would say, if she starts singing like, performing like Linkin Park did in 2009 when it became very soft and whiny, it's like, okay, yeah, there you go. That's perfect for her. But back when Linkin Park was hard, like 2004, 2008, no, it's not going to happen.
Well,
like,
I mean, also just imagine where your voice sits normally, right? So if you're singing and it's right here, and you can go down and you can go up, think about how much texture you have. And her going up is going to be something that Chester probably couldn't do and help her stand out a little bit. Instead, she's here. This is her normal voice range. Like, this is where she is, where she's comfortable. And she's dropping here and trying to force it. So she's trying to force. Her voice is never going to do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not good.
That's why it sounds like I've become so numb. Like, it's just one constant, like
she's having to
you
punch
need
down.
to, yeah. Well, thank you for the, genuinely, thank you for kind of giving us more of a background on that. Cause I know that you are well versed in like, vocalists and I guess being a singer, yourself. Is that the right term? Is there like a different term for people who are vocalists?
Vocalist is fine.
Okay. But yeah, so bringing context into that, I think, is really smart, because the current discussion is just, oh, she sucks. Oh, she's a DEI hire. Oh, she, why did they hire a woman to do a man's job or whatever? It's like,
Right.
or the other one was, oh, no one will ever replace Chester. Why didn't they change the band name? But to give context as to like, here's why she doesn't sound that good, or maybe she sounds better if she could do this. That helps out a lot. So, but yeah, no, I mean, Hybrid Theory and Meteora are probably some of my favorite albums from that era, and they will stand the test of time. I think those two in particular have some of their best hits. And they're albums that you can like, those albums where you can listen to it from like the first song all the way to the last one, and they're all good. Like those are the kind of albums that they produce there. So,
but yeah, those clips those clips are
they're not great.
They're not bad.
They're not great. I did see our boy Zach's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, what were you gonna say about Zach's?
I did see our boy Zach's defending it though on Twitter. So
I'm
I
gonna give him a hard time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go see what he says, and then I'll make him more time.
Yeah.
I will say this is better than when Flyleaf changed their lead singer.
When did they do that?
It was a couple of years back.
Oh, okay.
Like they went. Are you familiar with Flyleaf?
I've heard songs from them, but I don't know them well enough to like.
Yeah,
say
it sounds.
them.
They went from their original singer to a chick that sounds like she's just a pop singer. Like there's no grit to her voice, no like rock to her voice. Like it's weird, but they're still trying to do their Flyleaf like sound.
Yeah,
and then it's like homegirl from next door decided she wanted to come, do karaoke with the Flyleaf band. It's bad.
Damn, homegirl. Yes, Soul Assassin, we are indeed talking about Linkin Park's new singer. So, but that actually should do it for this evening, though. So thank you guys, chat. Y'all are the best. We really appreciate you coming out tonight. We had a ton of fun topics, and I think we were able to cover them in a timely manner. Because there was a lot of stuff that happened in this past like week or two where, the rewriting Ripley stuff with the YouTubers. There was a topic that I was going to talk about that I was like, maybe we shouldn't talk about it because of the Russian collusion stuff with like different, political YouTubers. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't even touch that because I don't know anything about that.
What
so that happened?
There's accusations of Russian collusion again? What?
And then Space Marine 2 was released, plus the female Adeptus Custodes episode was released. So there was like, bro, what is happening right now? So, but that's what happens. It's like quiet, 2 weeks, not a lot of news, not a lot to talk about. And then all of a sudden, all of it drops in like 1 week. And then you're like, well, I guess I have to talk about everything now. So before we head out, do you guys have anything for the chat or for the channel before we dip out for the evening?
Stay tuned this week. Aaron and I should be making our big announcement this week.
Nice. Yeah, Aaron was hanging out with the Tick creator the other night. So
yes, he was. I'm very, very jealous. I got to have dinner with him, and but yeah, I think Tuesday in Long Beach, at that comic book shop, he's going to be there with Ben Edlund and a few others.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
Jackson
that'll be cool.
I think. Yeah, you're going to that, right?
Tuesday?
Yeah.
No, I have an event. Yeah. So,
oh, okay. Oh, the Tick isn't important enough. All right, I see how it is. Got it.
No, not at all. I haven't read a single Tick thing ever. So I apologize, but yeah, I'll fully admit that I have nothing to do with the Tick. It does not interest me, but that's okay because I'm sure for a lot of other people, they're super stoked about it. So I'm happy for them. But yeah, we've got Josh. You guys may be doing.
I'm most likely moving Tuesday's show to Thursday.
Yeah.
That's because I want to watch the debate.
Dude, me too.
I hope you all want to watch the debate as well. You should. You should go watch
that.
The
Is
debate.
Going to be wild.
Yeah.
Wild is like me putting it lightly.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So what do we think? Do we think that this is going to solidify like the brain rot, or do we think that this is going to make her go up in the polls? Well, actually, by
don't-
solidifying the brain rot, she'll go up in the polls. But
Correct. I don't see her going up in the polls. I see everything staying roughly where it is. Because there are pollsters that are owned by conservative companies that are purposely showing closer results than what they're actually getting to try to keep Republicans from becoming complacent. But also, you've got a lot of people on the left that they're just voting for Harris because.
yeah. Oh, they do not care about her policies at all whatsoever. They don't care if she can talk, if she has policies. No policy.
Just maintains the status quo. That's what's important for them.
Yeah.
Has she
They
actually
just
added
care.
policies to her website yet? I don't think so.
They just care that she cooked them green beans. Like, my gosh, dude. Her
I was watching.
brutal.
I was watching Nurkish. Nurkish was doing a video comparing her whatever campaign tours, and it's like I could not believe it. It was shocking.
She puts on a totally different face, man. It's pretty.
And the White House press secretary acts like, what are you talking about? She's not doing that. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, of course. She has to. She has to. Salty Traveling Sea says, too late for a question. Any of you guys read Animal #1 by Carlo Romero? Drew, did you get to read that one?
Animal #1. That's new to me.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Is that a European comic?
Yeah. I have no clue.
Yeah, Salty, you'll have to let us know. Carlo Romero.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he got it in his poll list. So look at that. We'll have to check it out, Salty. Yeah, thank you for the heads up. We'll take a look. So all right. Well, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We will chat. We'll catch you guys later. Have a fantastic week. This is going to be a crazy week for a lot of people because of the debate and a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff going on, within our world, within our culture. And it's a wild time to be alive. But I'm thankful that I'm living it here with you guys. I'm very thankful that we get to experience that together. And hopefully you guys enjoy us kind of bringing the news to y'all and having these conversations because I gain great enjoyment from it. So all that being said, I'm going to play this, our intro update again, but as our outro, because I like it. And it took me like an hour to make. So yeah, I'll play it again. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night. We'll talk to y'all soon.